Someone is hiding deep love for you. This is want I am picking on today. And no, this is not same as my previous videos. There is something deeper. Okay, so there is somebody hiding something from you right now. And okay, wait. Let me start that again because I already feel like I'm saying it wrong. This is not the kind of hiding where someone just hasn't figured out how to say it yet. That's not what this is. What I'm getting is something way more, it's deliberate, it's calculated. Like this person has made an actual decision about how much of what they feel they are going to let you see at any given moment. And I've been trying to give this reading for, I'm not even kidding, 3 days. 3 days I keep sitting down to do this, and something in me goes, nope, not yet. And I push it away, and I go do something else, and then it just comes back, louder. So here we are. Hi, my loves. You are watching Tarot Talk with Sophie. If you're brand new, hello to you. I'm so glad this found you. Subscribe if even the first 30 seconds already felt like it was sitting in your chest. And come back after this and tell me in the comments who came to mind. I read all of them, every single one. Okay, so let's actually go. Okay, so first thing, this person knows exactly how they feel about you. There is no confusion on their end. They are not sitting there going, I'm not sure what this is. No, they are completely, almost painfully aware of what is going on inside them when it comes to you. And that awareness is exactly why they are keeping the lid on it so tight. Because when you know, when you really know, you also know what happens the second you stop controlling it. And this person is not ready for what comes out if they stop controlling it. So they manage it. Every single interaction with you gets run through this internal thing that goes, okay, how much can I allow right now? What's safe to show? What do I have to keep in? How close can I get before I need to step back? That is what I keep seeing. Someone moving so carefully. Like every step is being placed before any weight goes on it. Testing the ground. Testing the distance. Testing how much they can feel before it tips over into something they can't take back. And here is the thing I need you to hear right now before we go anywhere else. You do not build that kind of system around something small. You just don't. The size of the control is telling you everything about the size of what's underneath it. And wait, so I need to go back because there's a specific thing that happened here. And if I don't tell you this, the rest of the reading doesn't make sense. This person, whoever this is for you, they went through something because of you. And I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want it to sound dramatic for the sake of it. But I'm getting awakening. Dark night of the soul, ego death. Something genuinely cracked open in them after they came into contact with your energy. Something they were not expecting. Something they had no frame for. Like their whole inner world. The way they had themselves arranged. The story they told about who they were and what they wanted and where their life was going. After being around you, that arrangement started feeling wrong. Not a little wrong. Fundamentally wrong. And the first thing they did, and this is so human, this is so real, the first thing they did was try to logic it away. They sat with it and went, no, this doesn't make sense. This is too much. Let me find a rational explanation for this feeling and put it somewhere neat and just move on with my life. I keep getting this phrase, forbidden fruit, like there was something about fully wanting you, about actually letting themselves go all the way toward you. That felt like it wasn't allowed. Not because of anything real, not because of something you did, but because going fully toward you would have required them to become someone they weren't yet, to meet themselves at a depth they had been successfully avoiding for a very long time. And that felt like too much, so they pushed it down. And then it came back up. And yeah, it did not work. The suppression did not work. The more they tried to explain it away, the more it just stayed. Got louder, actually. The more distance they tried to build from the feeling, the more their whole inner life kept looping back to you, kept coming back to you. Like, okay, it has been a while. I have done the logical thing. I have tried to move on. Why is this still here? And I think, okay, I feel this shift really clearly. At some point, they stopped fighting. But there was no big moment, no dramatic turning point. Something just got quiet in them on the resistance. Like they were so tired of arguing with themselves about this. And instead of pushing the curiosity back down, they just let it exist. And then slowly, they started following it. This is where it gets actually significant, and I need you to pay attention here. This person's life is changing right now because of you. Things they used to accept, they don't accept them anymore. Standards they used to have that were honestly just tolerances, things they called good enough. They look at those things now and go, no, I know better. I have felt what's real. I have felt what's actually possible, and I am not going back to less than that. You became their reference point, their internal standard, their blueprint for what connection is actually supposed to feel like. And they haven't told you that. They might not even have the full words for it themselves yet, but that is what is happening on their end right now. That is massive. Please let that actually land for a second, okay? So let's change the gear. I want to talk about you now, because I think this is actually the whole reason any of this happened in the first place. You have something. And I feel like you already half know what I'm about to say, but I want to say it properly. When people are around you, it's by not something happens to them that they didn't choose. Like they didn't sit down with you planning to say that much. Didn't come into the conversation intending to go there. But before they even knew what was happening, they've said something real. Something they don't usually say, something that's been sitting in them quiet for a long time, and you didn't pull it out. You didn't pry. You didn't ask the exact right question. They just opened because of something in how you exist around people. And in the moment, that feels like relief to them. Like finally, like, oh my God, I've been holding this in for so long. But then they walk away and they feel exposed, raw. Like, wait, why did I say all of that? I never talk like that. And I don't do that with people. Who was I in that conversation? And okay, I need to say the uncomfortable version of this because I think you need to hear it. I think sometimes people have almost resented you for that. Not consciously. Not because they think you did something wrong, but because they came undone in your presence without choosing it, without permission. And they had to sit with that feeling of having been seen before they were ready. And here is the part that I think has been quietly hard for you. You didn't do anything. You just showed up. You just existed. And they cracked open and then felt weird about it and sometimes pulled away because of it. And you were left going, I literally just asked how you were doing. What did I do? What is happening? Yeah. And there's something else. Something I feel like doesn't get said enough in these readings. Being that safe space for everyone, it's also kind of lonely, isn't it? People pour into you. They give you the real stuff, the heavy stuff, the things they've never said out loud. and they leave feeling lighter, and you're left holding all of it by yourself, again, carrying everyone else's weight while quietly wondering if there will ever be someone who does that for you. Someone who makes you feel safe enough to crack open. Yeah, I see that. I see that in this energy, and I needed to say it. And okay, so there is something more important here. This person specifically, what happened when they were around you was not just that they felt comfortable and opened up a little. What happened was bigger than that. Being near you held up a mirror to something they had been actively not looking at for a long time, about who they were, about what they'd built their life around, about whether the version of themselves they'd been showing the world was actually them, or just a performance they'd gotten so used to they forgot it was a performance. And here is the specific thing I keep getting. The thing that makes this reading different from a general "he has feelings for you" reading. Before you, this person had a picture, a version of their life they'd been building toward, a kind of love they'd decided was fine, a set of standards that were honestly, I'm going to say it, tolerances. Things they'd made peace with and called enough, and then they ran into you. And the picture started feeling hollow, started feeling like, that's not what I actually want. That's what I settled for before I knew what was real. That's what I accepted before I had a reference point. And that reference point now, the thing their whole inner world measures everything against, is you. Whether they've said it out loud or not, whether they've admitted it to themselves fully or not, you are the standard now. And everything that doesn't meet that standard, and a lot of things don't, gets quietly rejected, quietly let go, because they know now they have felt what's real, and they are not going back. Okay, so now the hiding, because I think this is what you're actually living with, and I want to name it properly. The way this person is behaving around you, the careful distance, the controlled warmth, the feeling like they're close but also keeping just enough space between you, that is not them pulling away. It is not them losing interest. It is not a sign that something is wrong or that you misread things or that the connection isn't real. It is someone who knows from experience now what your energy does to them, what happens when they let their guard down around you. They got caught off guard once. The cracking open happened before they could stop it. And they are not going to get caught like that again without being ready. So every interaction with you now gets measured. How much warmth, how much closeness, how much can I let myself feel before I have to pull back? How long can I stay in this conversation before I say something that gives too much away? And I really know that from your side, this is confusing. Like, you can feel something is there, you can feel the pull, but you can also feel the lid on it, and you can't always tell which one is real. Whether the warmth is real or the distance is real, or somehow both are true at the same time, both are real. The warmth is real. The distance is real. The feeling is real. The management of the feeling is real. You are not making this up. You are not misreading this. You are reading it exactly right. You're just not getting the full picture yet because they're not showing you the full picture yet. And now, okay, I need to say something now, and I want you to sit with it. I'm going to take a second here because, okay, this is going to sound random, but bear with me. I was talking to a friend last week, and she was describing this thing where she'd had this one connection that just wrecked her standard for everything after. And every person she tried to date after that felt like a copy of something. And she didn't understand why until she admitted she'd never actually stopped wanting the original thing. She just pretended to move on. And I wasn't going to share that today, but it just feels so relevant because that is what is happening on the other side of this reading. This person has tried to find something that measures up, and it hasn't. Nothing has. Because the thing that happened when they were around you isn't reproducible. You can't just go find someone else who makes you feel what you felt. You can't replicate an awakening. You can't replicate the specific crack that opened in you when someone real, actually unfiltered, actually themselves showed up in your life. And they know that now. I feel this clearly. They know they are not going to find another you. That question has been answered for them. That is not the open question anymore. The question they are sitting with, and this changes everything about what the hiding actually means, the question is not whether you're worth it. That is settled, long settled. The question is whether they are, whether they have become or are becoming the person who can actually show up for you without panicking, without building walls the second things get real, without the management system running constantly in the background. They are asking themselves whether they deserve you yet. And I think they're still answering that. If this is landing right now, drop it in the comments. Tell me who came to mind. Tell me what hit you. I genuinely want to hear it. I read every single comment, every one. Okay, and I am a bit confused here. Sorry, so I feel the energy splitting. Let me think this out. So, and I don't do this unless it's actually two different situations. So stay with me. For some of you, there was something real between you and this person, an actual thing, a relationship, or something that got close to being one. Something that started and then didn't land the way it should have. Maybe it ended too soon. Maybe it drifted into something undefined and stayed there. Maybe there was a moment where it could have gone further, and both of you let it pass, and now you don't know how to get back to it. And this person on their end has been carrying the what if of that, not out loud, not dramatically, just quietly, in the background of their everyday life, doing the work of becoming someone who they think can actually hold you this time. Someone who won't run when it gets real. Someone who won't get overwhelmed and manage the distance when what's needed is presence. They haven't forgotten what you were. They haven't moved on. They've been rebuilding with you as the reason. For others of you, nothing has officially started. This is someone in your life right now, someone who exists near you. And they have been controlling their proximity to you very carefully for a while, maybe a long while, close enough to feel the warmth of you, far enough to keep a grip on themselves. And the people around this person, if they're paying attention, might have noticed something. This person is different when you're in the room, slightly more careful, slightly more measured, choosing words in a way they don't usually choose words, going slightly quiet in moments they'd normally be loud. And they're not even fully aware they're doing it, or they're aware and they can't stop. And I want to speak to this situation specifically for a second, because you might have been thinking, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if I'm reading something into this that isn't there. I don't want to make it weird. I don't want to make a move and be wrong. You're not wrong. What you are picking up on is real. The careful behavior is the evidence. The measured proximity is the evidence. People do not tread carefully around things that don't matter to them. Either way, whether this is situation 1 or situation 2, the feeling on their end is the same. The hiding is not a no. It has never been a no. Okay, you. Let's talk about you, because I really love you. And when I talk about you, I feel really I don't know how to name that feeling. But there is a feeling. You are my family. I talk to you daily. And because we have been talking about them for a long time, and there is something I need to say directly to you now. You have been told you are too much. Not once, multiple times, in multiple ways, by multiple people. Some of them said it with words, some said it by pulling back, some said it by getting close, and then going quiet, and then slowly disappearing. And leaving you standing there going, what did I do? Was it me? Is there something about the way I love or connect or show up that is just too much for people to stay with? And you pick that up. Even if you never let it fully stop you, even if you kept showing up as yourself anyway, there was a voice in the quiet moments going, am I the problem? Is this why people leave? Is this why it never quite works? Am I just too much? I want to answer that. No, not a gentle no, not a we all have our things to work on no, a complete, total. You have been lied to no. You are not too much. You have never been too much. What you have been is in rooms that were too small for you, with people who had only ever practiced surface level, who had never been asked to go deep with someone and didn't know how. And when you showed up being fully yourself, not performing, not filtering, not shrinking down to a manageable size, it wasn't that you overwhelmed them. It was that they didn't have the range for what you were offering. That is a fit problem, not a you problem. Those are completely different things, and I need you to stop mixing them up. And here is what I find. Honestly, I find this remarkable. Like, genuinely remarkable. You didn't close after everything, after the people who pulled back because you were too real for them, after the connections that felt like they were going to be forever, and then that slow, quiet pulling apart, after showing up fully and getting back something careful and managed and halfway. After all of that, you stayed open. You did not decide, fine, I'll do the surface thing. I'll stop going deep. I'll find the version of myself that's easy and uncomplicated and doesn't make people feel things they don't know what to do with. You didn't do that. You just kept being you, kept going there, kept choosing real over comfortable, kept refusing to perform a smaller version of yourself for the sake of people who weren't built to receive the actual one. And I know that has cost you. I know that has been lonely in ways that are hard to explain to people who haven't felt it. The specific loneliness of being someone who goes deep and not finding many people who will go there with you. But I need you to understand something. The reason this person's whole world cracked open, the reason the spiral happened, the reason the suppression didn't work, the reason they are still rebuilding their life around what you showed them was possible, is because you refused to perform. What they ran into was the real you, the unfiltered, unmanaged, actual version of you. And that is so rare, so genuinely rare, that when someone encounters it, someone who has spent their whole life around people who perform, it doesn't just feel nice, it feels like a revelation. Like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what I've been starving for. That is what you did just by being yourself. Okay, so I feel like the energy right now is, and I want to say this carefully because I don't want to give you a false timeline, but the energy is not stuck. I know it might look stuck from the outside. I know the managed distance might feel like nothing is moving, but internally, on their end, something is shifting. The grip they've had on themselves is loosening. Not all at once, not dramatically, but it's loosening. The work they've been doing, the becoming, the refusing to settle, the rebuilding, it's bringing them somewhere. And that somewhere has your energy all over it. Because here's what happens when you use someone as your internal standard for everything. When every other option gets measured against what you felt around one specific person and comes up short. When you keep letting go of things that used to feel fine because they don't feel fine anymore, at some point, you stop trying to replace it. And you go toward it. I can't give you a date. I would never do that. Free will is real and timing is its own thing, and I've been wrong about timelines before, and I'm not about to pretend I have that level of sight. But the feeling on their end is alive. This is not a dying thing. This is not something that has gone quiet and isn't coming back. This is something that has gone underground while they get ready. There is a difference. Subscribe if you've been here a while and this channel has given you something. And please share this if it found you at the right moment. Genuinely, share it. These videos find the people they're meant for through you, okay? Last part, you. Yes, you. Again, this ends on you, not on waiting, not on watching to see what they decide, not on holding yourself in a careful quiet while someone else takes their time figuring out if they're ready for you. You. I need to ask you something honest, and I want you to actually sit with it. Have you been making yourself smaller while you wait? Have you been going a little quieter? Being a little less? Turning the depth down slightly. Finding the version of you that feels less risky to show. Thinking maybe if I just take up a little less space, maybe this time they'll stay. Because I feel like some of you have been doing exactly that. And I need to say, please stop. Please stop performing a smaller version of yourself for someone who hasn't even been brave enough to show up fully yet. The person who is actually built for you, whether that is this person once they finish becoming who they're becoming, or whether it is someone already on their way to you, they will not need you to be easier to receive. They will not ask you to turn anything down. They will walk into contact with all of you. The full depth, the intensity, the way you see people before they've shown you who they are, the way you love, the way you make people feel like the real version of themselves is safe to bring out. And they will feel relief, not overwhelmed, not confused, not scared by what comes up around you. Relief, like finally, something real. Finally, someone I don't have to perform around. That's what you are to the right person. Not a challenge, not a lot to handle, not too much, a relief. And you are someone's standard now. Whether you know it or not, whether they've told you or not, whether this has been said out loud in any way between you or not. Somebody looked at their own life after knowing you and said, no, I'm not accepting this anymore. I know better now. I have felt what real feels like. And I am not settling for anything that isn't that. That is your impact. That is what you caused just by being yourself. Just by showing up unfiltered in a world full of people who perform everything. And the person who gets to love you fully, in the open, without the management system, without the careful distance, without the lid on everything real. They are going to know down to their bones what they have. They are not going to wonder if they're sure. They are not going to make you decode their behavior from a distance, trying to figure out if it's real. They are not going to give you almost, or not quite, or someday, when I'm ready. They are going to choose you clearly, loudly, now. And you are not going to have to ask whether it's real because it is going to be unmistakable. That is what you deserve. Not as a consolation, not as a someday maybe, as a standard, as the actual minimum. Don't you dare accept less while you wait for it. I love you. Tell me, comments, do you love my videos or not? Take what resonated, leave what didn't. Drop a comment. Tell me who this was. Tell me what landed, and I will see you in the next one.